today. Today we're finally getting back into Waco. This is episode 2. It's going to be titled Children of God. I really did enjoy the first episode, and then, you know, life, liberty, and justice happens. We brought a lot of new shows on here, and this kind of got lost in transition. But we have one more episode to go after this. Thank God. It's just easy. 3 episodes. It looked very interesting. It was also on the top 10 on Netflix. You guys can find it on Netflix. What a wonderful platform they are. You guys know I'm always going to talk very highly of Netflix. They are extremely good to us reactors, those who do react to Netflix. I just enjoy their content. Like they will always forever be a part of my life. Netflix. I love Netflix. So go check out Netflix and see if you guys can see this in a full reaction on Netflix, or you could join my channel right here on this wonderful platform that keeps copyrighting my shit, as well as my other platform, Patreon. So guys, once again, if you want to help support the channel and to see this in a full reaction with my face in it, please join one of those platforms today. Let's jump right into this, guys. Please tag Netflix on Netflix, and if you guys can find the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or any platform that you guys are on. Help bring people over here to this channel that love this show and is very interested in true crime documentaries. After this, we're gonna move right along to more true crime situations that are happening. If you guys have any suggestions or ideas, please comment down below as well. I do have like a list of things that I saw on Netflix, and I was very interested in getting into, which we will probably see if we can be able to drop those and deliver those episodes as quickly as possible. But without further ado, let's jump into Waco and find out exactly what this show has got to give.
No shouting questions. Answer time. Raise your hand until you're recognized.
Okay.
My name is Jeff Jamar, and I'm the special agent in charge of FBI operations here in Waco. Followers killed 4 ATF agents. The area is a crime scene. The goal is to resolve this situation with no further bloodshed. Course indicated that 20 children, 47 women, and 43 men inside.
What does he say?
He says God told him to wait.
Now know that this is not going to turn out well.
Not at all.
The only will that exists is that of one person.
God speaks to me. If you don't believe that, then believe this. 2,000 years ago, hey, who believed in Christ's doctrine? No one would believe what he had to say.
We knew we were going to have to contain the crime scene and make sure that we could protect from people coming out. Ranch-style farmhouse that was directly across from Mount Carmel. We called it Sierra One. Still have the entire perimeter of the building and no idea what's going on out there. And we put together a plan to assault and secure that garage. We got to go by the building that just shot the living shit out of the ATF. How are you going to do that? But we knew they had 50 caliber weapons that could penetrate the Bradley fighting vehicles. So we steamed down the road, turned right, drove down the driveway.
But there's guys coming to the barn and climbing up from the back of the property, and they're getting closer and closer. You are not keeping them away. We're not stupid.
I don't know if it's ATF. I don't know if it's the FBI. I've got no channel coming into the negotiations.
If they had entered the building, we would all commit suicide. I was the one woman that could have pulled that pin, killed the 4 or 5 women in the room that I was in. I'm not a person. I'm God's tool.
You need to get with those guys and tell them to pull back.
Spin around carrying an AR-15.
And I look over and I see a guy in black. He had a gun. And I just remember thinking that guy's gonna come and kill me.
Expecting, this big gunfight to break out. And it didn't. We've moved in. We've taken that turf, and we're not leaving.
Hostage rescue team had no desire to make anybody in there happy. Their desire was to get this resolved and get it resolved now.
The negotiators wanted to, cool down the temperatures. The hostage rescue team, David Koresh and his followers, who were a bunch of criminals and murderers.
I would tell the on-scene commander, Jeff Jamar, this is what we want to do as a negotiation team. Simultaneous approach from the hostage rescue team, and he would say, yeah, go ahead.
The FBI agents working as negotiators and members of the hostage rescue team, we had the exact same mission.
Our goal was always saving as many lives as you can whenever you can.
Guy, bad guy. Don't let what's happening out there come in between what we're doing here.
Well, thanks much, John. Take care. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good night. Bye.
Ill. I really believe he's ill.
David's down.
He's down.
That's a good sign.
David Koresh had been wounded, and you could hear it in his voice. And he sent us a video where he showed us the bullet hole.
Negotiators that we've been discussing with on the phone. Want to see one of the holes here? This one went out right here.
Oh, it's leaking. Just a minute,
Is it leaking? So we're going to send this tape out now. And I'm leaking in the back here. I got to get this taken care of.
David knew he was dying. He was 33 years old, so there was a lot of similarities between him and Christ.
Died, or number two, he came out to get medical assistance. Game over.
If he has got a little bit more information.
Tried to implant in his mind that, you're going to get blood poisoning and die. You need to come out for medical help.
There's only one single man who controlled this whole situation. That was David Koresh.
Nothing like this had ever happened before. And this was also, for the media, this was a big damn story.
Tried to explain to the public what we were doing and why we were doing it.
Who is negotiating on the other side? Are you also talking with other followers, and if so, who?
We're in charge, and we can turn up the screws again if we want to.
Cult members involved in Sunday's bloody shootout with federal agents are still holed up inside their compound.
The name David Koresh is mentioned. Oh dear, this is where my son is living.
Dave Thibodeau knows his mom's here because that's the kind of friend he's got in his mother.
And I remember thinking, I wish you wouldn't. I don't want to be the face of this thing.
I can talk to him. That agent said to me, we don't have any protocol for family involvement. I said, my son may not have a future. My instinct told me right off that I needed to work the press.
Koresh the option of saying whether or not he would like to speak to other familiar voices from the outside.
First thing you're going to do is make sure that you cut off their contact with the outside world.
So don't want them to be able to call out to, say, a loved one and give them their verbal last will and testament.
They were saying they've talked to these members, they want to stay on their own free will, and they're willing to die for David Koresh.
We took a long walk, and he was trying to tell me about David Koresh.
Do you meet Koresh?
I never meet David Koresh. We talk on the phone a number of times. I said, are you a prophet? Do you feel that you're a prophet? And he said, yes, I'm a prophet. The Messiah? And he said, yes, I am. Dave's in trouble. This guy thinks he's the second coming.
We're trying to learn everything we can about not only David Koresh, but his followers.
First girlfriend of David, Linda Marie Campion, was on the line. Long-haired, fun-loving, guitar-playing guy, smoked pot once in a while. In 1979, he had a nervous breakdown, tremors, convulsions of extremity, having visual and audio hallucinations, primarily at night.
That father was a convict, a thief. The story was that he was subject to sexual abuse. Talking to him one day, and he was asking where he could find people who could help open the Bible. Now, there's this group of people over in Waco where they've been since the 30s. Goofy guy. He was a carpenter. He wasn't very bright.
The way we eat over here with our fingers.
He got very close to a woman named Lois Roden. Lois was 67, and Koresh was a young man.
She eventually passed away. It became a battle between her son and David Koresh for leadership into a gunfight with George Roden inside the compound.
Bang, 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 bang. Not pointing at George. You see?
Sheriff's department was called and arrested Koresh and his followers. A jury actually hung on whether to convict. There was no retrial.
And then David took over.
The headquarters of a bizarre religious cult in Texas. Among them, Australian followers of a man who claims to be the son of God.
Claims to have one wife, Rachel, who was 14 when he married.
Koresh's teaching evolved. He introduced what he called the new light. Revelation was that he was supposed to have other wives. And Revelation evolved, and he was supposed to dissolve all the marriages of all of his followers.
I have separated couples. You have. You better believe I have.
Dad went along with it.
I want to know what truth is. I thank God for it.
And my mom just didn't agree with it. After she left, I wasn't allowed to be around my dad. Basically, after my mom left, David Koresh was like my mom and my dad.
Every single one of us was married to David because David was our Christ.
Believed that David Koresh was the key to their eternal salvation.
The Bible studies went all night long. Women would stay up in the hopes of being the one that he would take to bed with them. Go to these Bible studies and hope that he would pick me. Finally, David decided to take me to his room. The bed took up 4/5 of the room. I'm going to be, for the first time, with God alone. The whole time we were having sex, it was a Bible study. He did it to give me that one little bit of tenderness with my God.
Perhaps the most shocking allegation is that he had sex with underage girl.
And how old are you, Lisa?
13.
13. And who's next to you?
The other girls that were 10, they would giggle and laugh about, being one of his wives one day, how much it was an honor, but not me. He was hard on me about everything. He'd take me in his room. He would make me lay over his lap to paddle to my butt, and he'd be like, okay. And then he'd pull it back again. Wouldn't hit me until I was not ready for it. A lot of people have told me that he was trying to groom me.
That a man having sex with a bunch of underage girls is a crime. We're underaged girls because you come of age at 12. We're adults in our belief system.
Is she a child? That's scary.
Some kids walk out would go a long way in building trust.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and send her out.
Okay. What is she wearing?
What's she wearing?
They got me that morning and took me down the stairs. My dad was sitting right beside the stairs in a chair. He had been shot. My dad told me, if you get scared or upset, just think about me.
Well, you don't look very happy. What's wrong? You want to put a smile on? She wants a hug. Let me, okay, we're going to send her out. Let me go ahead and let you off the line.
He pushed me out the door and shut the door behind me. And all of a sudden, there's guys surrounding me. One grabbed this arm, one grabbed this arm. I was sitting in this army tank.
8:45 a.m. today, Heather, 9 years old, was released.
Treat these kids like they're your own. Turn them over to the negotiators, and the negotiators will bring them back here.
And they have my bag of everything I took out with me. All these men laughing. I hear them saying, probably sent us out with bombs or grenades.
Parents who we were able to speak with to leave an impression with them about, we're good people.
Hi, Daddy.
Hi, Heather. What you doing? How'd you like your little ride?
It was fun.
Well, you be a good girl and ask for all the good things. And don't forget what you know. I'll see you, okay?
Bye-bye.
Bye. I love you.
Oh my God. That was the last time I heard his voice.
You want to say hello to anybody out there, the kids that left?
Yeah.
Say hello, wave to them. Tell them make sure that they're taking good care of them.
Papa.
This is little Crystal. We live for one thing, and that's the betterment of tomorrow's world, and that's where our children come in at. Children know how to respect, they know how to be mindful, they know how to do right because they see it here.
Religion just happened to be the vehicle that he used to control people.
I believe not only was David lifted up and told he was this person, I believe he truly believed that he was the second coming.
John, I know you take us for a bunch of idiots.
No, I'm taking this real serious.
What you fail to understand, John,
Yeah.
is that I'm not afraid to die.
You gonna pray to some people this morning, David?
I think you guys are the ones better start praying.
Oh, what's that mean?
They were a significant risk to our lives in Sierra 2. My scope, I look up at a firing port on the building. I see a Barrett 50 caliber rifle pointed straight at me.
I got a frantic phone call in the negotiation room from Dick Rogers, the head of HRT. He said, you tell them to get that out of the window and not aimed at us, or we're going to take action.
Believe me, they're seeing things. I checked it out. There was absolutely nothing.
I watched the muzzle come out of the building. I watched the port close back up. Never knew where the 50 caliber was again. That was not good for us.
Blamed us. We only did that on the orders of your boss.
Demonstrate the danger in a breakdown of communication between those elements. Fuck yes.
That plagued this operation from start to finish.
Tonight, David Koresh has made such statements as, "We are ready for war."
This morning, They get into a back and forth where Koresh is threatening them. So the FBI hostage rescue team responds by bringing in Abrams tanks.
The tanks in a row. They came down the hill and started to set up one by one in front of the building.
Millions of rounds of ammunition that they have at their disposal. They are always posing a threat.
Jamar came in, he had just come from the front line. He was really excited about the capabilities of this tank and start at this end of the compound and drive full speed all the way to the other end. Unfortunately said, why the hell would they do that? Sent home the next day.
Every step we're taking is trying to be a logical step.
Stand in front of a tank, you can run over me, but I'll be biting one of the tracks. Karen? Let's go out here and do to our enemies.
Destroy them.
They take me to the children's home in Waco.
Young negotiators on our team came up with a brilliant idea to send in a video of the kids. Your kids aren't going anywhere. We're keeping your kids here for you, Mom and Dad. They're here. They're your kids. When we send the tape in, Kathy sees her young son looking forlorn.
I have no idea what's going to happen to Brian. He's by himself, and that upset me.
I've got joint custody. These are my kids. I want them. And he got them.
I feel very relieved.
But her son, Brian, was still being held at the Child Protective Services.
He's not feeling too good.
Right.
He misses his mother deeply, and it's really affecting him a lot.
Did to twist that to not just being worried about him, but being responsible. This is what the little guy needs. You're the only thing in his world.
It made it much more difficult for me to do God's will.
Koresh had a group of guys called the Mighty Men, who I guess were sort of his little army. She was considered one of the Mighty Men.
Hi, Kathy. How are you?
Okay.
I spoke to you the other afternoon.
I'd rather be here. In order to be with Brian. I can't don't rush me.
No, I didn't mean to rush you.
This is a really
Tough decision.
tough thing.
No, I'm not.
I have this idea, and I write it on a note, and I hand it to John. Brian needs now is a hug from his mommy.
And I know that Brian will want to hug his mommy.
And it was like an arrow going through the phone line. It struck her in the heart.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And they think they're like caring. They don't care.
That is tough. Really feels good.
An unidentified adult female has just come out of the compound.
So much from Kathy, about the conditions inside. I had a desperate need to want to know and understand, and she was able to fill a lot of the gaps that we had.
Here's my boy. Hey. Who am I? Mommy, right?
You spend some time. We haven't seen him in a while.
And then they said that he needed to go eat, and they took him away, put me in an orange jumpsuit, and shipped me off to jail.
Catherine Schroeder did knowingly, willfully, and unlawfully conspire and agree with persons known and unknown.
Anyone coming out will be charged if the facts are substantiated.
We protested as negotiators, said the other people inside are watching what happens to people that come out.
Anyone knows that the government's not going to lose, right? They're going to get whatever they want one way or another.
They could put us all in jail and throw away the key? Yeah, we walk out there, you're gonna handcuff us.
You listen to me. You are a damn liar.
They didn't say she was gonna be free.
2 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting behind my rifle, and I look back, and it was David Koresh. He's looking out the window, and he's looking at me. He doesn't know who I am. He knows where I am. He knows what I am. 297 yards from the tip of my barrel to the point of his nose. Wind is still, elevation's flat, the humidity is low. If I pull the trigger, the leader's dead. The kids are safe. They all come out. It's over.
No, what happened? Well, this show is like a really good show. I like how they tell the story of what's going on, and because I don't really know much of the history of Waco, I kind of like knew glimpses of it. It's really good to see it being told through this story, like actual footage. You hear the voices, you're actually there when everything is happening. I find it more intriguing than just hearing like kind of what I do with the other documentaries where it's just like the tapes itself. Like sometimes the tapes could draw me out of what's happening, but this type of the way they story tell just really brings me into it. So I would say this is a 10 out of 10. This is a very fascinating situation about dealing with cults, and To tell you the truth, I was actually sort of surprised that they arrested the mother and put her in jail, and like everything they did, they were like, oh yeah, come, oh yeah, here's your child. But like they were even laughing about it after. Like it just overall, it seems like, I mean, they're there to do a job to de-escalate a very crazy situation. I've never been a part of that. I don't know what it goes through, but I don't know. I feel like a little bit of empathy is gone, but at the end of the day, you know what? It has to be gone if you want to save lives, right? You're trying to save kids. I completely understand it. But I am still very shocked. I did not know that she was arrested. But she seems to be a little quackadoodle-doo on top of that. But that was very surprising. I thought that she was going to be released with the kids, but why would they do that? She's an adult. Nor here nor there. Now it's definitely going to cause complications for moving forward for the rest of the people. And I'm kind of curious to see if the rest of the people just end up fighting and like it going out that way. I feel like he was killed there. I don't think he killed himself. I think he was killed there. I don't know. I don't really remember. Like I said, I don't really know the whole pieces of the story, what happened. And what I really like about this is the episodes are short and it gives you everything you need to know. And it's very short episodes. Only 3 episodes of this documentary. Right to the point. And it's really good. So once again, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. Please like this video. Please share this video. Don't forget to share it to Netflix on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or whatever platform you guys are on. Don't forget to comment down below. I cannot wait to read you guys' comments. And I'll see you guys next time with more Wake Up!